Did you know some motorcycles in Japan are still running strong after 500,000 miles on their original engines? We see it all the time. Bikes that should be retired by now, still riding, still pulling, still refusing to die. There's no miracle part, no secret oil, no underground factory tweak, just small habits practiced with ruthless consistency that add up to legendary lifespan. Today, I'll show you the 17 Japanese secrets behind those 500,000-mile machines, and how to use them to make your bike last longer, run smoother, and age like a machine that never got the memo. If you want your ride to feel better at 50,000 than most bikes do at 20, this one matters. 1. The warm-up ritual. Long engine life starts before the wheels even move. In Japan, riders consider the first 30 to 90 seconds after ignition sacred. It's not about warming the engine to operating temperature, it's about building steady oil pressure and letting it flow to every critical part. During this time, they observe, is the idle smooth? Are there any odd noises, leaks, or blinking lights on the dash? The throttle stays untouched. No blipping, no revving, just calm observation. And when oil reaches every corner, the real riding philosophy begins. 2. The 80% rule. Once on the move, the next principle kicks in. Ride at 50% most of the time. That means no constant red line, no full throttle drama, unless there's a real need. Japanese riders know that mechanical parts thrive when stress is predictable and moderate. Shifting a little sooner, braking a little earlier, and avoiding heat-soaked hard runs all extend life. It's not about being slow, it's about being smart. But riding gently is only half the equation. The other half flows from a bottle. 3. Oil changed by feel, not by internet debate. Service manuals provide intervals, but in Japan, riders trust feel more than factory numbers. They notice when gear shifts feel a bit fuzzy, or when clutch engagement loses its sharpness. Those are signs, not guesses, that oil is done doing its job. Whether the mileage says 2,000 or 3,500, the oil comes out. It's replaced with fresh, correct spec fluid, and the filter is changed right on schedule. Torque specs are followed. No over-tightening, no stripping. Now, even with perfect fluids, impatience can undo the advantage in minutes. 4. The gentle first 10 minutes. Even after warm-up, the first minutes are careful. Metals are still settling into their happy place. Riders keep revs moderate and loads smooth. No heroics, just smart pacing. This is not slow, it is strategic. The engine fully stabilizes before hard work. When you finally ask for power, it answers without strain. Respect first, performance second. Because respect doesn't end when the throttle closes. 5. Rain means wash, same day. When the ride ends wet, the care begins immediately. In Japan, riders don't let rain sit on their machines. Not because they're fussy about appearance, but because chemistry is cruel. Acid rain, road salt, and metal dust love to corrode quietly. Japanese riders rinse the bike that same day, dry the chain, clear the crevices, and use compressed air or cloth to protect the electronics. It's not a wash for beauty, it's a rinse for survival. And after water leaves the surface, the real maintenance begins at the chain. 6. The chain as a lifeline. Clean metal runs longer, and the chain is proof. After washing away rain and grime, attention naturally falls to the links that drive everything. Japanese riders keep the chain wiped often, lubricated lightly, and tensioned within the proper window instead of stretched tight. A calm, quiet chain means the rest of the drivetrain is not being punished. They avoid harsh solvents and brutal brushes that grind dirt deeper. Instead, they work with patience, soft cloths, and measured care. Sprockets are inspected together, replaced as a set when hooked teeth appear, so nothing fights the chain. Over tens of thousands of miles, that gentle respect silently protects the gearbox and seals. From here, it is an easy step to understand that if the chain deserves that precision, every fluid in the machine deserves the same. 7. Fluids matched, like blood type. Japanese riders do not pour close enough into anything. Coolant follows the correct chemistry and is refreshed before it turns tired. Brake fluid is changed before it darkens and softens lever feel. Fork oil is treated as real maintenance, not folklore. On machines that share engine oil with the gearbox and clutch, the correct specification is non-negotiable. Fluids are viewed as living systems that age, absorb moisture, and carry contaminants. Replacing them before performance drops prevents corrosion, protects seals, and keeps operating temperatures in check. As a result, the bike brakes, cools, and responds like new long after others fade. When fluids are that dialed in, The next question becomes, where does the bike rest between rides? So all that careful work is not undone. 8. Parking with intention. Where a motorcycle sleeps decides how it wakes. The Japanese habit is to park on solid, dry, ventilated ground, not soft grass, damp dirt, or dark corners that feed rust from below. Outdoors, a breathable cover is chosen over plastic that traps condensation. During brutal summers, tires are spared from baking on scorching surfaces when possible. For long rests, stands are used to ease stress on contact patches and suspension. Coastal air and rainy seasons are met with airflow and inspection to prevent hidden corrosion around bolts and connectors. It is not coddling, it is denying oxygen and moisture their easiest wins. Once the parking is deliberate, the fuel that enters the tank becomes the next negotiation. Quick check. Which one of these secrets are you already using on your bike, and which one are you stealing next? Drop it in the comments. Hit like if this is helping your ride live longer, and subscribe so you don't miss the next upgrade to your maintenance game. 9. Fuel that is chosen, not convenient. In this philosophy, gasoline is never all the same. Japanese riders favor busy, clean, reputable stations where fuel turnover is high and storage is respected. Dirty forecourts and empty ghost stations are quiet warnings they do not ignore. They seek consistent additive packages instead of gambling on the cheapest option. For seasonal downtime, they use stabilizer and run it through so it actually reaches injectors or jets. Where ethanol content varies, they know what their bike expects before they squeeze the lever. Engines that drink predictable, trustworthy fuel lead predictable, trustworthy lives. And once fuel is chosen with intention, the way the engine is started and used cold becomes the next crucial layer. 10. Cold starts as wear. Events. Every cold start is treated as a small withdrawal from the engine's lifespan. Japanese riders stack errands instead of firing the bike for tiny trips that never reach proper temperature. If the ride is too short for a full warm cycle, they often choose another way. In colder months, batteries rest on intelligent maintainers, so cranking is strong and electronics are stable. Thicker oils are only used if the manufacturer calls for them, because flow beats superstition. By respecting that the danger zone lives in cold operation, more miles are spent in the engine's comfort zone. That awareness flows directly into how they handle the electronics that control everything. 11. The soft start habit. Next comes the start sequence. Key on, pump prime, dash sweep, warning lights cycle. Only then does the thumb touch the starter. No panic, no rush. After it fires, there is no sudden rev, sensors settle, idle stabilizes, charging normalizes. And those tiny savings matter even more when the seasons begin to test the machine. 12. Seasonal tuning and storage. Then the seasons get a say. In winter, batteries, pressures, and fuel are managed with intent. In rainy times, connectors and drains are checked. Bare metal gets light protection. In brutal heat, radiators stay clean and coolant fresh. Long storage means treated full tanks or safe drains. No pointless idling that contaminates oil, but the real danger starts when ambition outruns balance. 13. Balanced modifications, not ego builds. When power increases, responsibility follows. Japanese tuning culture pairs a freer exhaust with proper fueling, not guesswork. Extra horsepower brings upgraded brake pads, fluid, and sometimes lines, so stopping matches going. Higher cruising speeds nudge riders to check cooling efficiency instead of trusting luck. Changes in sprocket ratios come with awareness of bearing loads and speedometer correction. This systems thinking keeps a strong engine from outrunning its lubrication or overwhelming old suspension, because power reveals flaws faster than time ever could. 14. Investigate sounds, never normalize them. No new noise is dismissed as just character. A fresh tick, chirp, rattle, or knock is logged in the rider's mind with when and where it appears. Only at idle after rain, only during engine braking, only at full heat on the highway. These patterns become clues. That curiosity turns into quick checks. Header flanges, chain sliders, heat shields, bearings, and mounts. Small issues are caught while they cost little. Big failures never get the chance to assemble themselves from ignored hints. This habit of paying attention leads straight into recording what the bike has been trying to say over time. And the smartest listeners don't store those clues in memory. They store them in history. 15. Service logs as superpower. Memory bends. Ink does not. Japanese riders track dates, mileage, conditions, and work done in simple, consistent records. Valve clearances, plug changes, tire pressures before big trips, idle feel after a remap all get written. Over time, those notes reveal patterns, a component that always drifts at a certain interval, a season where something consistently degrades, a fuel that coincides with issues. The future stops being random and starts looking scheduled. Resale value is a bonus. The real advantage is foresight, and when records are clear, so is the need to keep the engine breathing and synchronized properly. 16. The bike must breathe and sync. Engines live long when they inhale clean air and share the workload evenly. Air filters are inspected more often than the bare minimum and replaced before they choke. Carbureted bikes get their carbs synchronized, so no cylinder drags the others down. On fuel-injected machines, injectors are cleaned when needed and throttle bodies checked, so idle stays steady and response crisp. Vacuum lines are tight, clamps seated, and intake boots uncracked, preventing sneaky air leaks. When breathing is balanced, combustion is cleaner, temperatures stay lower, and internal stress is reduced. When all of these habits work in sync, one final mindset makes the system unstoppable. 17. Kaizen as a riding philosophy. Kaizen means continuous small improvement, and it threads through every habit. Instead of waiting for a dramatic rescue rebuild, Japanese riders make tiny upgrades to their behavior week after week. One more tire pressure check, one extra chain wipe after dust, one smoother warm-up. They carry a small torque wrench and actually use it on critical fasteners. They learn how proper sag feels and stop grinding head bearings to death. They pay attention to clutch-free play and the subtle music of a healthy valve train. Over 5 months, the bike feels better. Over 500,000 miles, it becomes proof that disciplined riders can bend fate in their favor. Now, which one's secret will you start first? Comment your answer, subscribe, like, and join riders chasing 500,000-mile motorcycles. Share your ritual, because your insight might be someone's missing spark today.